Laura is a female college student. She often shares her daily life online. Because she is pretty, she has hundreds of thousands of followers. One day, Laura was having dinner with her friends. She noticed a girl dressed strangely. The girl was sitting in a corner. After dinner, Laura and her friends went back to their dorm. Laura suddenly got a friend request. She checked the profile of the person who sent it. It was the girl she saw at dinner. The strange thing was, this girl's profile had no friends at all. When Laura's friends saw the profile, some of them thought the girl was weird. But Laura was different from them. The more she looked at the profile, the more curious she became. On the other side, when the girl saw that Laura accepted her request, she was very happy but also seemed nervous. The next day, Laura met the girl in person. The girl's name was Marina. She was a new transfer student. She was also in the same class as Laura. After Laura and Marina became friends, Marina started sending Laura a lot of messages every day. Laura thought Marina might just be lonely. Her boyfriend thought Marina was acting crazy. One night, while Laura was sleeping, she was suddenly woken up by a strange noise. She listened carefully and followed the noise. She saw a bee flying outside the window. But in the next second, someone appeared. Laura woke up instantly. It was just a nightmare. Later that day, Marina sent Laura a photo. Laura opened it. Marina had edited the photo to put herself and Laura together. Seeing it gave Laura chills. Following her friend's advice, they checked Marina's old social media posts. It was full of disturbing videos. After watching them, Laura's friend, there was definitely something wrong with Marina. So, Laura's friends asked her why she wanted to be friends with Marina. Laura said she was just trying to be nice. She never expected Marina to be this way. Laura's birthday was coming up in a few days. She was getting ready for her birthday party that night. Marina suddenly called her. Marina said she wanted to come to Laura's birthday party. Maybe because of what happened before, Laura lied and said she was just celebrating with her boyfriend. Marina saw the post and couldn't hold back her emotions. That night, the birthday party went on as planned. No one knew what Laura was thinking, but she posted a group photo online. When Marina saw the photo, she felt angry and betrayed. The next day, Marina confronted Laura in public, asking why she lied. Even though Laura kept apologizing, Marina refused to let it go. They ended up arguing in front of everyone. In the heat of the moment, Laura accidentally pulled off Marina's hood. The classmates all stared at Marina with strange looks. Marina ran away without saying a word. Laura thought their friendship was finally over. But that night, Marina sent Laura a lot of messages, apologizing again. Laura didn't want to deal with her anymore. So, she removed Marina from her friend list. Marina watched as her friend count went back to 0. She felt completely hopeless. She sent a disturbing video to Laura. While Laura was working, she suddenly heard a strange voice. She followed the sound, but saw no one. Just as she was about to leave, she turned around and saw a strange mirror. Out of curiosity, Laura looked into the mirror. She saw a dark figure slowly moving toward her inside the mirror. Scared, Laura stepped back, but the next second, a terrifying creature appeared. Luckily, her blonde-haired friend called her just in time. When Laura looked back, the mirror was back to normal. The next day, Laura noticed that Marina didn't come to class. Soon after, the teacher gave the class some terrible news. The teacher said that a few days ago, Marina had taken her own life, and there was a video of her suicide. The uploader of the video on the school's website remained unknown. Silence spread through the classroom. Laura froze, unable to process what she just heard. Her friends feared she would blame herself for everything. They tried to reassure her with comforting words. Olivia hesitated before making a suggestion. A small funeral for Marina seemed like the right thing to do. Kobe dismissed the idea immediately. There was no trace of her existence. Not even the police could confirm where Marina had died. What made it worse was the next discovery. No records of Marina could be found anywhere in the school. Later that night, darkness settled in. A sudden notification made Laura's heart pound. On the screen, Marina's name appeared. The message refused to load on her phone. Laura switched to her computer for a clearer view. A video file from Marina appeared in her inbox. The footage slowly began to play. Marina's final moments unfolded in disturbing detail. Flames consumed a photograph of Laura. Above it, Marina's lifeless body swung. Fear gripped Laura, leaving her completely speechless. Tyler, learning about the video, attempted to delete it. The file remained untouched, resisting all attempts. With no other option, he shut the computer down. The following day, during class, Laura's phone vibrated with an urgent message. She quickly checked her account on her computer. The video of Marina's suicide had been uploaded again. Laura desperately tried to remove the disturbing clip. The website refused. showing an unknown error message. The most unsettling part was yet to come. Marina's name had returned to Laura's friend list. The horror only continued to escalate. The authorities were notified without delay. With no way to remove the video, Laura was advised to delete her entire account. She reached out to the platform's customer service for help. The response was chilling. There was nothing they could do. A technical issue was not the problem. The system couldn't even locate her account anymore. Laura was left with no other options. She turned to Kobe for help, hoping for answers. The two of them worked together, digging for clues. A strange discovery soon surfaced. Laura's profile looked normal, just lines of code. Marina's page, however, had strange symbols. At first, the text seemed unchanged. As Kobe scrolled through Marina's old posts, Laura's eyes caught something familiar. She leaned in, her heart pounding. The footage wasn't just Marina's last moment. It showed something deeply unsettling. That night, shadows filled the room. Laura felt pulled back to Marina's profile. She looked over the page, debating her next move. A new image appeared: Laura and Gustavo, side by side. Gustavo's face in the picture began to warp unnaturally. The screen flickered, the image twisting before cutting out. The door behind Gustavo creaked open on its own. Thinking a friend had returned, he turned around. Without hesitation, he stepped into the hallway. After a few steps, he stopped, sensing something was wrong. A strange painting hung eerily on a nearby door. Gustavo, drawn by curiosity, stepped inside. Scattered across the floor lay shattered doll limbs. A cold draft whistled from the farthest corner. Gustavo shivered and turned to leave. Two monstrous figures emerged in front of him. Terror surged through Gustavo as he ran into the elevator. The elevator jerked to a stop, mid-floor. Looking up, panic spread through his chest. Above, the beehive pulsed, crawling with life. Before he could react, a massive hand struck him with brutal force. The scene shifted to his girlfriend, Anna. Anna opened the elevator door. When elevator doors slid open, a chilling silence filled the air as Gustavo was thrown back and forth inside the elevator. Gustavo was rushed to the hospital. The injuries were too severe. Gustavo was pronounced dead. Anna collapsed and had to be hospitalized. Guilt weighed heavily on Laura when she returned home. At that moment, Kobe sent her an urgent message. Laura quickly opened her laptop. Her profile was active again. Another video appeared, Gustavo's final moments. Like before, the video couldn't be removed. Laura, desperate, tried to explain in a post, just as she finished typing. The screen glitched, the system freezing. The situation escalated quickly. The school administration suspended Laura indefinitely. Packing up, she prepared to leave the campus. Meanwhile, Kobe uncovered something unusual. He pulled up Marina's profile once again. He explained that black bees were symbols of dark forces. Such bees, he noted, were often linked to witches. Determined to uncover the truth, Laura and Kobe searched Marina's old dorm room. Upon entering, they discovered an old school photo of Marina. But something was strange. Two boys stood beside her in the picture. Their faces were completely blurred. Digging through online records, Laura tracked down the school in the image. The school's principal provided key information. Marina's time there had been filled with hardship. Her past was filled with unbearable suffering. As a child, Marina endured relentless bullying. Two boys tormented her constantly. Over time, she grew distant and silent, isolated from others. She immersed herself in dark, unsettling content. The principal continued, revealing more details. Marina would stare at her computer screen for hours. The only thing staring back was her own shadowy reflection. This was the reason why. The other students avoided her completely. Meanwhile, Kobe discovered an online group called Black Mirror. They were known for performing strange rituals to summon dark entities. The way Marina had ended her life was linked to a ritual performed within Black Mirror. The scene shifted. To prove Laura's innocence, Kobe decided to post a clarification online. The moment he finished, the screen flickered wildly. Then, a sharp ringing noise echoed in his ears. Assuming it was lodged inside, he grabbed a pair of tweezers to remove it. But what he pulled out was a black bee, still alive. The focus shifted back to Laura. She was on a call, uncovering details of an old murder case. The victims were the same classmates who once tormented Marina. Police had discovered their bodies inside a factory. Two lifeless bodies lay in the abandoned site, but the most disturbing detail remained. Their faces had been horrifically destroyed by something unnatural. Upon learning this, Laura urgently contacted Kobe. Since Anna was still at the hospital, she was asked to look into any records about Marina. They needed any medical history tied to her. Just then, Marina's profile mysteriously connected with Anna. Almost immediately, strange things began happening to her. Her first vision appeared. Through the window, a house was engulfed in flames. Turning away from the sight, she spotted a burned, pregnant woman lying on a bed. As confusion took over, the woman sat upright, locking eyes with her. Panic set in as Anna bolted from the room. Yet, the entire hospital seemed eerily empty. Desperately, she searched for anyone to help. But after taking just a few steps, two deformed figures blocked her path. In terror, she darted into a nearby room. Before she could react, she noticed something horrific. A lifeless version of herself lay on the ground. Shadows twisted into monstrous shapes around her. That was the moment Anna met her tragic fate. Upon hearing of Anna's death, Laura rushed straight to the hospital. Surveillance footage of the incident was shown to her. Strangely, the video showed the hospital filled with people. Yet, Anna seemed unable to see anyone at all. Soon after, Laura's account updated again. Another video surfaced, this time showing Anna's death. Once her friends discovered this, they desperately tried to remove Laura from their lists. Fear consumed them, certain they would be next. Yet, no matter how hard they tried, the website displayed an unknown error every time. As night fell, Kobe approached Laura again. He was convinced Marina hadn't simply killed herself. Instead, she had performed a dark ritual linked to Black Mirror. This ritual was known among witches. It was a final act performed by those with no escape. They would take their own lives in front of a black mirror. In doing so, they transformed into vengeful spirits, creatures of darkness and revenge. Kobe believed this was Marina's revenge. The only way to put an end to it was to shatter the mirror they had used during the ritual. In this case, it was Marina's laptop. The following day, Kobe uncovered a letter from Marina's mother. 2 decades prior, a massive fire had engulfed a farm. Marina's mother had been one of the survivors. Severely injured, she had fought to stay alive. Against all odds, she survived long enough to give birth to Marina. The connection between them and the farm became clear. This place held the key to Marina's story, the location of the tragedy. As the discussion continued, Kobe made a discovery. Marina's profile had just posted a photo of Laura, standing next to Olivia. A wave of unease hit them instantly. They rushed back to the dorm without hesitation. As soon as they reached the building, Olivia was immediately taken to the hospital, saving her life. Timely action prevented a fatal outcome. Meanwhile, Laura noticed something unsettling. Marina's profile had connected with Olivia. Laura realized Marina wasn't done yet. As the police closed in on them, Laura knew she had to act quickly. She asked her boyfriend to distract the officers. She and Kobe set out for the abandoned farm. As soon as they reached the site, strange events unfolded at the hospital. Olivia's expression turned unnatural. Her body moved as if controlled by something else. She violently ripped out the tubes attached to her. Without warning, she lunged at a nearby officer. Olivia grabbed the officer's gun in a swift motion. Her grip tightened around the handle. She aimed and pulled the trigger on herself. The focus shifted back to Laura. She and Kobe scoured the area for evidence. Kobe suddenly noticed something strange. His own profile had connected with Marina. His reflection stared back at him through the phone screen. Fear took over as he realized what was happening. He immediately throws the device aside. Turning around instinctively, he saw a woman rising from the floor. She stepped forward from the shadows. It was Marina's deceased mother. Laura's voice suddenly broke the silence. When she turned back, the figure was gone. Acting on Kobe's suggestion, they descended into the basement. As they moved deeper inside, massive beehives hung from the walls. Strange, unreadable symbols covered every surface. As Laura scanned for clues, she noticed Kobe standing frozen in front of a mirror. He remained motionless. Concerned, Laura approached cautiously. Without warning, Kobe whispered an apology. The blade in his hand plunged toward Laura. Reacting swiftly, she dodged the attack. She sprinted out of the basement before he could strike again. The truth became clear. Marina's plan was to isolate Laura completely. If Laura died, the curse would spare everyone else. Desperate, Kobe turned against her to save himself. Cornered, Laura's hope began to fade. Then, in the distance, she noticed an old factory. It looked disturbingly familiar. Checking her phone, she realized it was the same factory linked to Marina's past. It was a place filled with dark history. Meanwhile, Kobe and Laura's boyfriend crossed paths. Tension flared between them. Laura's voice cut through the conflict. As she called her boyfriend, she urged him to meet her at the factory. Laura didn't know her boyfriend was still with Kobe. Soon, they reached the place. Laura turned to warn her boyfriend, but before she could say anything, fear took over, and she ran. She sprinted into a dead-end hallway. Kobe moved in for the final strike. A swirling black wind rushed into his ear. More appeared, surrounding him. The air grew heavy with an eerie force. Kobe was overwhelmed and trapped. Laura, thinking it was over, caught her breath. A young Marina stepped forward. Her voice echoed. She only wanted to be friends. She walked into a dark room. Laura hesitated, then followed. The room appeared. It was where Marina died. As Laura stepped inside, a voice whispered her name from the screen. Reality twisted. Laura was pulled into another world. Dizzy, she turned around. A monstrous figure leaped at her. In the end, Laura survived, but she became the next Marina. That's the end. Thank you for watching.